Hello, everyone. Today we're talking about why introductions are so important. It's not just about saying hello and names, it's about how we start conversations and build relationships. This helps us with our first impressions. Introductions are like the first sentences of a story, they set the tone. We can leave either a good or a bad impression. So, a good introduction helps people like us from the start. Introductions help us make friends or work better with others. When we introduce ourselves, it's easier for people to get to know us. This can lead to new friends or opportunities at work. Knowing how to introduce yourself and others is like using good manners. It shows that we respect the people that we meet. Using polite introductions make everyone feel comfortable. In jobs and careers, introductions help us meet people who can help us. They can connect us with coworkers, bosses, or people who can give us new chances. So introductions can be very important for our jobs and goals. Here are some good examples of self-introductions. Hello, I'm Sarah. Nice to meet you. I'm from Canada. This introduction is clear, friendly, and it includes a pleasant greeting and some personal information. Hi, my name is Ahmed. I'm originally from Egypt, but I've been living in the United States for the past 5 years. This introduction provides both the name and background of the speaker, allowing for further conversation. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jennifer, and I work as a software developer at XYZ company. In a professional setting, including your name and job title helps others understand your role. Hey there, I'm Alex. I love hiking, and I'm a big fan of science fiction books and movies. Sharing some personal interests can be a great way to connect with others and start a conversation. Hi, I'm David. I'm here to learn and improve my English, and I'm excited to meet new people. Expressing a positive attitude and your goals for the interaction can create a friendly atmosphere. Now we're going to look at some common mistakes to avoid in self-introductions. Using incomplete sentences. I, David. This is too brief and lacks necessary information. You cannot introduce yourself like this. Overloading with information. Now this is the opposite end. Hello, I'm John. I'm a software developer from Chicago and I have 2 kids, a dog and a cat. My favorite hobby is cooking and I'm really into sports, especially soccer. Now, while it is good to share some personal details, this introduction is overwhelming with information. We don't want to give too much at the beginning. Being too formal in a casual setting. Greetings, I'm Sarah. I come from the nation of Canada. In casual meetings, overly formal language can make you seem distant. So you need to understand the situation that you're in. If you are in a casual setting, use casual language. If you are in a formal setting, then it's fine, you can use formal language. Not offering a greeting. My name is Emily and I'm a teacher. It's polite to start with a greeting like hello or hi. Forgetting to smile and make eye contact. Now, while this is not really a verbal mistake, non-verbal cues are essential for a positive introduction. Avoiding eye contact and not smiling can make you appear unfriendly or unapproachable. Now, this is something that you need to understand from a cultural perspective. In more Western cultures, it is polite to look someone in the eye while you are speaking to them and to also smile. In some other cultures, it may seem disrespectful or like a challenge to look someone in the eye, but in Western cultures, it is polite to look them in the eye. If you look away from someone while you are talking to them, that's actually seen as disrespectful. It means that you're not actually interested in them or you are focused on something else rather than the person that you are talking to. So keep that in mind. Remember, a good self-introduction should strike a balance between sharing relevant information and being friendly and approachable. It sets the stage for positive interactions and connections with others. Now that we've explored how to introduce ourselves, let's shift our focus to a skill that can enhance your social interactions, introducing others. This is not just about saying names, it's about creating positive connections between people and making them feel valued. So, it's an act of courtesy. Introducing others is a way of showing kindness and courtesy. It's like being a friendly bridge between two people who may not know each other. So, for example, if you go into a place, you have a friend with you, and then you see one of your other friends, but they don't actually know each other, then you would introduce them to each other. So let's say your one friend is named John and your other is named Pete. And you say, "Hi, Pete, this is John. He's my friend from work. Hey, John, this is Pete. He's one of my childhood friends. We grew up together." Building relationships. Introducing others helps build connections in various settings. You can connect friends, colleagues, or acquaintances, leading to positive relationships. At social gatherings or events, introducing people creates a welcoming atmosphere. It helps people feel comfortable and it encourages conversation between them. So here are some good examples of introducing others. John, meet my friend Lisa. This is a very simple introduction. Now we can add some context. This is Sarah from our marketing team. Sarah, this is Mike, our new project manager. And now we could also make it a bit more personal. I'd like you to meet my cousin, Emily. Emily is a talented artist, and she just had her first gallery exhibition, neglecting to include names. So a mistake would be, this is my friend, she's an engineer. Failing to mention names leaves the introduction incomplete and doesn't help people remember each other. Being overly formal. Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce Mr. Smith, the vice president of our company. In a casual setting, overly formal introductions can create unnecessary stiffness. We don't want people to feel stiff and things in a casual setting. We want them to feel relaxed. So instead you'd say, "Hey everyone, this is Mr. Smith. He is the vice president of our company." Sharing too much information. This is Mark, my coworker from the IT department. He loves golf, has 2 kids, and just bought a new car. Now, while it's good to provide context, sharing too many details in an introduction can be overwhelming. Now, let's have a look at the steps for introducing others. Start with the person you know. Begin by talking to the person you already know, for example, John. Add some information. Say something about the person you're introducing, like, "This is Sarah." Connect them. Bring both people into the conversation. John, meet Sarah. This is Tom. Tom, meet Lisa. Meet my friend Emily. She's a teacher. John, this is Maria. Maria, say hello to John. Now let's talk about how to start conversations and then keep them going. We do this with icebreakers and follow-up questions. So icebreakers, what are icebreakers? Well, they're friendly questions we ask to start a conversation. For example, you can ask, "How's your day?" Or, "What brings you here today?" to get the conversation going. A good example of an icebreaker would be like, "Hi, how are you today?" Or, "Are you enjoying the event so far?" Do not make your icebreakers overly personal. So, for example, "How much money do you make?" Personal questions like this can make people uncomfortable. You don't want to ask them something like this when you've just met them or if you're just starting a conversation. An intrusive icebreaker. "Why are you single?" Avoid asking personal or sensitive questions, especially to someone that you've just met. You don't want to do this because it will leave a bad impression on the person that you're speaking to, and first impressions are the longest lasting. If someone has a bad impression of you from the first time you meet, it's very difficult to change that impression. Follow-up questions. Follow-up questions are what you ask next, based on what someone says. If they talk about their hobbies, you can ask, "What kind of hobbies do you enjoy?" It shows you're interested in what they say. So let's look at some examples. Building on a hobby. So your icebreaker would be, "What do you like to do in your free time?" And then the follow-up, "Oh, you enjoy painting? What kind of paintings do you create?" So it's like a flow. We listen to what they have to say and then we follow up on that. continuing a conversation. So your icebreaker might be, tell me about your job. Then they would answer, and then you would follow up. That sounds interesting. What do you like most about your work? Here are some common mistakes to avoid in follow-up questions. Changing the topic abruptly. What's your favorite movie? By the way, do you like sushi? Avoid switching topics too quickly because it can disrupt the flow of the conversation. Being too probing. How much do you earn? Do you own a house? Again, this comes back to don't be intrusive. Don't ask intrusive or personal questions that might make someone uncomfortable. This is fine if you know the person well. If you are already friendly with someone and you're genuinely asking, like, how much do you earn? Or do you own a house? That's okay if you are on very good terms with the person, if you are good friends with them. But someone that you've just met or someone that you barely know, do not ask questions like this. Remember, the key to successful icebreakers and follow-up questions is to keep the conversation friendly and respectful, showing genuine interest in what the other person has to say. Let's talk about something important for good conversations: active listening. It's about really paying attention when someone is talking. When someone is speaking, you listen carefully. You look at them and you don't interrupt them. You don't stop them from speaking. You show you're interested in what they are saying. It helps you understand the person better. It makes the person feel valued and respected, and it keeps the conversation friendly and positive. Some good examples of active listening: nodding and making eye contact. So while someone is talking, you nod occasionally to show you're following along and maintain eye contact to demonstrate your attentiveness. Again, this might be difficult because in some cultures it is respectful to look away or to look down when you are speaking to someone. But in most English cultures or most Western cultures, it is very important to keep looking at the other person in the eyes. You maintain eye contact, and then you nod occasionally to show that you are listening to what they are saying. Asking clarifying questions. When the person mentions something that you're curious about or don't understand, you politely ask questions to clarify. For example, could you tell me more about that? Reflecting and confirming. After the person shares their thoughts or feelings, you respond with empathy, saying something like, I understand that you're feeling frustrated. Is that right? Do not ever interrupt the speaker. You frequently interrupt the speaker, finishing their sentences or sharing your own thoughts about letting them finish. Interrupting can make the speaker feel unheard and disrupt the flow of the conversation. This is considered very, very rude. You don't do this to someone that you are trying to build a relationship with. Not paying attention. You appear distracted, checking your phone or looking around while the speaker talks. Not giving your full attention can make the speaker feel unimportant and diminish the quality of the conversation. Making judgments or giving unsolicited advice. You pass judgment or offer unsolicited advice before fully understanding the speaker's perspective. Jumping to conclusions or giving advice without listening can be dismissive and unhelpful. Don't give someone advice if they don't ask for it. Remember, active listening is about genuinely focusing on the speaker, showing empathy, and ensuring they feel heard and valued in the conversation. Now that we've learned about introductions, icebreakers, and active listening, it's time to talk about something important: practice. Just like learning any skill, practicing helps you get better at it. Practice helps you become more confident. It makes you better at starting conversations and making new friends, and it helps you remember what you've learned. So, how to practice? You can role play with a friend. Find a friend or family member who can help you practice. You can take turns introducing yourselves, asking icebreaker questions, and listening actively. Role-playing allows you to practice in a safe and friendly environment. Once you've done that a few times, you can start practicing in real-life situations. Take what you've learned and use it in your daily life. At work, try introducing colleagues to each other or starting conversations with new people. During social events, use your icebreaker skills to connect with others. Then seek feedback. Don't be afraid to ask for feedback from your practice partner or people you've interacted with. So if you do a little bit of a role play with someone, ask them, how did I do? Did I sound all right? Did I sound good? Did you feel comfortable? And see what they have to say about it and try and make improvements. Feedback helps you understand what you're doing well and where you can improve. Remember, the more you practice, the more comfortable and skilled you'll become. So don't be afraid to use what you've learned in your daily interactions. Finally, let's wrap everything up here. You start with a friendly hello. We learned that starting with a friendly hello and a clear introduction sets a positive tone for any interaction. Break the ice. Icebreakers help you start conversations, make new friends, and create connections. Listen actively. Active listening means giving your full attention to others, showing you care about what they have to say. And practice to improve. Practice is your best friend. The more you practice, the better you'll become at these skills. Goodbye.